Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Ladies, understand something. The top end of a woman's weight is 145 pounds. Okay. My mother's 5'9" and she was 145 pounds until she was 50. That's the top end of your weight because there should be about a 40-pound difference between you and men.
Basically, if the guy is rich, what ends up happening is the lawyer contacts the person and be like, hey, you know, your name gonna be all in the paper, so you might as well just settle out of court.
I can recognize talent. Even if I don't agree with the politics, a lot of the politics that was underlying in the show and some of the sentiments he was trying to share, I recognize artistry when an artist is present.
Yes, this is the definition of absolutely cooked. We'll never go back and take a look at her bad decision and take accountability for any of that.
Because there is powerful people in the industry, somehow there is a different law that applies to them. And I agree with that assessment.
Mantra, slave song, slave ship, rip skin made me rip bones. But no matter how close I hide, my ancestors speak. They tell me they're tired of them praying on us like we're weak. I haven't been getting sleep, longing to sing until I've surpassed peak. Until they think we are equal, please. All I want is peace. My ancestors beat drums until their palms would bleed, begging that generations remember our story.
Look, man, happy Sunday. Blessings to everybody. I took today specifically off, but I'm not even supposed to be on camera right now. In all honesty, I just want to kick back. I'm not really trying to be sitting up here going on about the constant influx of drama that's constantly being posted. Like, I already get consumed by that shit enough during the week. Sundays are days where I just want to relax. I'm not even trying to be thinking about any of that stuff. Unfortunately, some things just can't be kept silent. Sometimes you just have to get it off your chest. And maybe I'm alone in this, but I got to get it off my chest before I even go on with the rest of the day. Shout outs to everybody in the building, to my poets, writers. You know who you are. You know it's about to be a very busy week, a very eventful one. A lot of twists and turns, a lot of trials, a lot of tests. This right here struck a nerve. I need answers. If not for anything else other than just even start a conversation about it. Hoping that maybe one person will have enough concern or care about the fact that this title exists at all. For the one or two people who might watch this or come back to it on the replay, this is about your nieces and your nephews. This is about holding accountability where accountability needs to be held. This is about the lack of acknowledgement of the issues that we have in the school system. This is bigger than the algorithm. why are we talking about a 7-year-old being hung in an elementary school restroom? A 7-year-old boy. Fortunately, he survived his injuries, but I would like to actually read some stuff to you. Because this is crazy to me. Let me see if I can pull it back up real quick. Okay, bear with me. I had it and then I lost it. I don't know how. I really don't. I want to read this to you, and then you tell me if afterwards I'm wrong for anything that I'm about to say. Okay, here we go. I was going to pull it up on the screen, but I figured I'll just read it from my device. And it goes something along the lines of this. The Charles County Sheriff's Office in Maryland is investigating an incident where an elementary school student was allegedly found hanging on a hook in a school bathroom. A spokesperson for the sheriff's office told ABC News on Monday the injuries to the student were described by his parents as severe bruising on his neck and face. The alleged incident took place on Friday afternoon at C. Paul Barnhart Elementary School in Waldorf, Maryland. The parents of the student whose identity has not been disclosed because he is a minor, spoke about the incident on the condition of anonymity to protect their son's identity. In an interview with the ABC affiliate in Washington, D.C., they said that their son is a second grader in Charles County, Maryland, and is recovering from his injuries. School officials said that he was choking. So we're thinking that he was at lunch and he's choking off of food, the boy's mother told. In her interview with WJLA, the mother also said that the principal told the family their son was horseplaying with a fourth grader in the bathroom and that his jacket accidentally got caught on a hook. C. Paul Barnhart Elementary School Principal Carrie Burke said in a letter to the community that was obtained by ABC News that the incident occurred while two students were reportedly horseplaying in the bathroom when one student's jacket got caught on a stall door hook, that the student was not able to free themselves and the other student involved was not able to help them. The student left the bathroom to seek help from staff and reported the incident to administrators. Administrators responded and were able to assist, but staff called 911 for additional precautionary medical support, Burke added. Burke claimed misinformation was shared in the community amid confusion over the incident, but said that due to privacy reasons, she is not able to share any additional details. In her interview with WJLA, the boy's mother cast doubt on the principal's statement and is demanding more answers from the school. The principal said before she got him down, he was foaming out the mouth, unconscious, and it was from horseplay. That doesn't make no sense to me, she told WJLA. I want someone to be held accountable for what happened to our child, she added. In a letter to the community, Charles County Public Schools Superintendent Maria Navarro said the school district is investigating the incident. Navarro pushed back against claims that the school district is covering up the circumstances surrounding this incident. I have seen comments online stating that the school and CCPS are covering up what happened. This is not true. The principal nor the school system are hiding anything. Rather, we are sharing what information we can while we conduct full investigation, Navarro wrote in the letter. This investigation is ongoing. Speculation about what did or did not happen, as well as circulation of misinformation, impedes the investigation process, Navarro said, adding that on Friday, the school resource officer filed a preliminary report with the Charles County Sheriff's Office. Navarro said in the letter that any student who is found to violate CCPS school code of student conduct faces disciplinary consequences, and it is imperative that we all have information so that we can adequately address consequences. Don't you just love political statements? Here's my take. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have children in school, be advised, be warned, be aware. Know the rules, know the laws, have an intimate relationship with the staff, with the school board. Make sure you know everything that you need to know about where your child is getting their education from. This is not the time to not know something or to ignore it or to brush it off and pretend like it doesn't exist. This ain't it. Do you know how manipulative the system is? How easily it is to doctor up statements, to falsify, to Photoshop. Do you know, a few months ago, I did a reaction video on a principal. Matter of fact, it wasn't even a principal, it was a teacher. The teacher was beating the shit out of a kid in his class. He didn't know that there was a video inside his classroom documenting everything. The staff on site, they already knew about his criminal history. They were very familiar, extremely familiar. So much so that they covered up for him every single time trouble arose. They couldn't help him this time. He ultimately was arrested and is currently in jail. That gentleman was of a familiar skin tone. That's neither here nor there. The point of the matter that I'm trying to get to is that a firefighter doesn't necessarily make them a firefighter. Just because they have a title, that does not mean that they are. Just because they say they're a police officer does not mean that they're a police officer. Just because they say they're a teacher, that does not mean they're a teacher. You can't just rely on the uniform anymore. You cannot just rely on the badge. All of this to say, the bullying or the alleged bullying needs to stop. In this statement, they're playing both sides. But come on. We know the harsh realities of these situations. Children are worse than they were when we were growing up. They don't have no respect for authority, family, friends, law. Is out of hand, and parents are not parents anymore. Y'all keep allowing your kids to terrorize other students. The level of security and safety in these infrastructures are horrible. They're subpar. They're not good enough. You're not doing enough to be. What they're trying to argue is that this kid was playing around with another kid and then somehow ended up getting strangled by a bathroom door. Their jacket caught onto the door and somehow it choked him out, causing him to foam out of his mouth. Does anyone really buy that? Like, if I really had to go back as an investigator and try to demonstrate the crime scene and play it out the way that the principal and her staff is saying it. So this 7-year-old and another kid is in the restroom playing around. Y'all know how these bathrooms are with the lock on them. And so you telling me that somehow, some way, the way that they're going back and forth with each other in this bathroom, and somehow he was in a position to holster himself up enough or position himself enough throughout the tussle that his jacket could actually snatch onto the lock, tighten up, and then so much so that he's becoming asphyxiated. And then the other student comes to get help for him. I don't buy that. You don't want a lawsuit. You don't want to take credit or blame for the fact that your school system is flawed. Your teachers are not doing what they're supposed to. Why are your kids outside of the classroom? Y'all let them run the hallways for half a period. A lot of y'all kids, when they go to school, they don't even go to class. These little badass kids, they be hiding and hanging out in the hallways half the day. The only time you'll see them is during lunch. Facts, you know what I'm talking about because we were there once. What are we talking about? You want me to really believe that they were playing around? Nah. Now, mind you, this is a couple of years ago. This isn't even recent, but it popped up on my timeline. And I'm thinking to myself, well, shit, I never heard of this before. This is brand new to me. And even though the story is old, it doesn't change the fact that things like that right there still happen. Kids right now are being bullied in school Kids right now don't love their life. They don't love their setting, their home living, their self at all in general. They are ready to just go, check out. Your kids are depressed. They don't feel like they got hope. They don't even want to go to school. A lot of your loved ones are crying out for help, screaming for help, and none of you are paying attention. While on the other side of it, your kids are the cause of the miserable life or experience that other kids are having. Some of you are responsible for this behavior. Without a doubt, 100%. Because these kids wouldn't end up like this if they didn't see you doing the things that you were doing as they were developing into their own individuality. Does this not bother or concern anyone? Old story or new story? The fact of the matter is, the shit happened, and it shouldn't have. It never should have been a story. It should never be on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. So this is really just an opening eye, a wake-up call. Especially to a lot of y'all who think that you got it all figured out. You sending money, thinking that money is going to develop these children's characters. Or a lot of you who live through BET and soap operas and social media, your kids are bad as fuck. They need their ass whooped. Some of them need counseling. Some of them actually need guidance, fellowship. They need their uncles, their aunts, their cousins. They need church. They need Jesus. We all need him. But a lot of your kids are responsible for what is happening right now, for the drugs, for the sex, for these kids having kids early. They're too soft. Way too soft. You let them get away with murder. You let them smoke. You let them dress the way they want to dress. You let them talk however they want to talk to authority. Y'all don't give two shits, do you? Seven years old, hung. How are you, as a child in elementary school, getting hung or getting shot or stabbed? How does that work? Why at such a tender age is this something that I'm even concerned about? You feel me? Like I'm dead ass serious. As a child, you're not even supposed to be worried about stuff like that. The only thing that you are supposed to be concerned about is if you're going to get your butt whooped for coming home with a D or F. That's it. Am I lying? Because for whatever reason, this shit don't change. It don't. And you see it all on the news, all on social media, all the time, all day. kids breaking into stores, kids robbing other people, kids killing adults, stealing cars, wanting to be rappers. Shit, T.I.'s son in jail. I have nothing to say. Nothing at all. Right. That's terrible. Fortunately, this young man is going to recover, but I can only imagine the life he has to live after that. Imagine choking to death, being that young, suffocating. You have no idea if you're going to survive this as a kid. You don't know really too much about death. Not at that age. In a place that's supposed to be protecting you. School is supposed to be a space where you're protected and covered. The second most safest location that you can be in. If you're not going to be at home with your family, school is supposed to be at least one of the top 5 safest locations that you can be at. Clearly, that's not true. Weird. You're hardly safe at home because they shoot inside the house. You're not promised much when you leave off the property and you catch a bus or you're walking up and down the street. You can't predict what's happening around the corner from you. The police station should be a safe place, but that's for criminals. And even then, the criminals are working with the criminals. Isn't that ironic? Folks that you put behind jail are in jail, theoretically, with folks that should be in jail, but they get a paycheck for hiding behind their criminal activity. And then you have school, the hospitals. In the hospital, you're supposed to be in the best position to save your life or to find healing in the physical sense. But even with that shit, it's like you don't even know if they're going to try to steal your organs or commit malpractice or some shit like that. But school, are you kidding me? As a kid, you look up to your father and your moms and people like that. They're the ones that tells you this is what you need to do. This is how you're supposed to act. This is how you're supposed to deal with life. You're safe here. Out there, you got to be guarded. You got to be smart. You got to use your brain. You got to keep your eyes and your ears open. You cannot be too comfortable. Here, I'm taking you to such and such. You're going to be there for 8 hours. While I'm at work, you will be at work, even though I think it's some stuff with that too. But even when you go to school, you can't even be safe. It's been like that for a long time. Why don't we have enough conversations about it? That's the only reason why I brought this up. Maybe after this stream ends, you can go talk to a loved one or a friend of somebody or a family member or somebody and have a conversation about this in general. I don't know. It bothers me a lot, a hell of a lot. Because it doesn't really seem like people care too much. We talk about Cardi B, we talk about gossipy stuff, but you don't hear many people talking about God. You don't hear many people talking about Jesus Christ. And you don't hear people talking nearly enough about the abuse that children endure when they are in these facilities. So, open forum. I invite you to share your thoughts and your opinions. Am I wrong? Am I right? Am I in between? None of us are perfect, but that's not an excuse to allow your kids to take over your household. Children should not be running adults. Adults run the children. When did it become children are the parents? You scared of your kids? Is that what's happening? Is this a son-husband thing? Is this a single parent thing? Why do you keep allowing your children to be menacing to everybody else? Why aren't you doing something about it? And why aren't people speaking up on it enough? Unacceptable. I'm glad he's in recovery. By now, he should be good. They didn't give any names. They wanted to keep it discreet, and that's honorable. I'm not mad at that. I'm just glad this didn't end the other way. Something to think about on this Sunday before we start this week. I want to say thank you for tapping in. I just wanted to get that shit off my chest because that's not right. That's not cool. It's not cute. It's not popular. It's not a trend. This has been a problem reoccurring for generations. But it seems like there's no dead end to it. When are we going to address the problem? Appreciate y'all for hanging out. I'm going to go back to the rest of my day. I will see you guys tomorrow morning for the show. Y'all enjoy the rest of yours. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Peace.
Mantra, slave song, slave ship, rip skin, made me rip bones. But no matter how close I hide, my ancestors speak. They tell me they're tired of them praying on us like we're weak. I haven't been getting sleep, longing to sing until I've surpassed peak, until they think we are equal.